Open at 7, I close at 11, you know I ain't reppin'. Squad pass in place cause you know they collecting. Yeah. Bro pulling up in a legend, yeah, moving 24/7. Yeah. Merch moving out on the block, open from 7-Eleven. Yeah.
24/7, can't do no wrong, all these dogs go to heaven. 7-Eleven, rolling the dice and I'm breaking them heavy. Niggas ain't ready, bitches ain't ready. Nobody's ready, it's kill 'em all, man, this game is so deadly. He called and he said he want 10 of them. I get out the car, I hand him the package, I want all my Benjamins. It's all about dividends.
Open at 7, I close at 11, you know I ain't reppin'. Squad pass in place cause you know they collecting. Yeah. Bro pulling up in a legend, yeah, moving 24/7. Yeah. Merch moving out on the block, open from 7-Eleven. Yeah. 7-Eleven, I'm trapping, I slacking, you know I got weapons. Shoot first, flee the scene, and then we ask questions. Put my name on the ballot for the street trap election. I got plugs all around, like I'm an electrician. Wear a mask and the glove when I whip in the kitchen. My girl fine as hell, but I swear she from heaven, yeah. Open at 7, I close at 11, you know I ain't reppin'. Squad pass in place cause you know they collecting. Yeah. Bro pulling up in a legend, yeah, moving 24/7. Yeah. Merch moving out on the block, open from 7-Eleven. Yeah. Open from 7-Eleven. Yeah. Open from 7-Eleven. Yeah.
From Detroit to Houston, New York to
Is my mic in? Mic check. So what we're getting into right now is this Trump at the RNC speech, and these are just the highlights. So I'm gonna give my feedback on what we see here, but let's get this going. All right. Bro, look ridiculous with that tampon on his ear. Yeah. It's been a hell of a week. Slap, by the way. All right, let's speed this up. Put some speed on this one.
"4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together, we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it.
Why does it seem like he's always joking? Like, I don't know what it is, bro. I just can't take him serious. It seems like he's always joking for some reason. But let's keep it going.
Quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday.
It looked like he threw some starch on that earpiece.
As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me what.
I want to pause first and foremost and send my condolences to the people that were lost, or the people that lost their lives in that incident. From what I understand, it was I believe a firefighter, if I'm not mistaken. He was shielding his family, and his life was lost, and I think somebody else was injured. And just want to say that before we move on with that, but let's get into.
Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened, and you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell.
I don't believe that.
It was a warm, beautiful day
in
the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily, because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it.
Hold on, I just want to say, there was a video circulating, not to get into no crazy speculation, but there was a video circulating of, during the speech, some people that were spectators are basically pointing out, saying that they seen the shooter on top of the roof and they had plenty of time to react to it. So I think that's I don't know if that's like a lapse on Secret Service's side or what, but that's kind of crazy that, he was that close, man, to being DOA.
Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets.
Dang, as he re-encounters those incidents, I don't know, I can't help but to think I've seen those photos circulating where people were wearing the Trump patch. I don't mean to laugh at it, but I mean,
we're continuing to
crazy.
fly.
I'm just glad he's alive, man.
As very brave Secret Service
there's only been,
agents
I think, 4 other presidents that survived assassination attempts. So he's one of them, legendary.
These are great people, at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that. In an age when our politics too often divide us, now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's right.
And we must not criminalize dissent or demonize political disagreement, which is what's been happening in our country lately at a level that nobody has ever seen before.
Yeah, you know what? He has a very solid point, especially, I don't know, somebody who has contributed to it as well, but I think it gets to a point where they're no longer focusing on the points at hand, and it's just becoming a mudslinging contest, and it's really, it's not progressive to what we're trying to execute. I mean, there's so much going on in the economy right now. We definitely don't want to be in a situation where we're watching a WWE match, and that's what I feel like it kind of turns into. But I think for him trying to take the higher road on this, or at least pretend to, is a good approach.
In that spirit, the Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy, especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country. I'm here tonight to lay out a vision for the whole nation. To every citizen, whether you're a young or old man or woman, Democrat, Republican or Independent, black or white, Asian or Hispanic, I extend to you a hand of loyalty and of friendship. Together we will lead America to new heights of greatness like the world has never seen before. I will end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall.
So the entire speech, I think, was like an hour and 40 minutes. So this is just some of the highlights from the speech.
On the wall, we were dealing with a very difficult Congress. And I said, oh, that's okay. We won't go to Congress. I call it an invasion. We gave our military almost $800 billion. I said, I'm going to take a little of that money because this is an invasion. And we built, most of the wall is already built. And we built it through using the funds because what's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into our country that's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. We're not going to let that happen. I will end every single international crisis that the current administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. Iran would...
I don't know I would love to see how this is going to, turn out after everything that's happened, because I mean, it's getting to the point where even with, I don't like to take either side, but regardless of what party you're going for, these past 4 years have been ridiculous. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you like Biden or not, it should always be in human nature or humans, our best interest, whatever. But like, I'm feeling like right now it's becoming more of a personal vendetta than actually addressing things that need to be done. But when he's talking about economically, all the things that transpired, there were some things that came out and he was actually warning us about it, but let's get into a little bit more detail of what he's going to say, and then we'll elaborate.
It was broke. Iran had no money. Now Iran has $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. I watched the other day on a show called Deface the Nation. Has anyone seen it? And they had a congressman who was a Democrat say, well, whether you like him or not, Iran was broke dealing with Trump. I told China and other countries, if you buy from Iran, we will not let you do any business in this country, and we will put tariffs on every product you do send in of 100% or more. And they said to me, well, I think that's about it.
No, I have heard about Trump being stern in negotiation, and it's just like, it's to the point where, I don't know, it's just like Biden's not even coherent. So it's like, like, do you honestly can expect him to go negotiate on our behalf, and this man is geriatric and senile and barely can finish a sentence? So that's a little concerning, man. It's just, we in some tricky times right now.
They weren't going to buy any oil, and they were ready to make a deal. Iran was going to make a deal with us, and then we had that horrible, horrible result that we'll never let happen again. The election result, we're never going to let that happen again. They used COVID to cheat. We're never going to let it happen again. And they took off all the sanctions, and they did everything possible for Iran. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame what this administration, the damage that this administration has done. And I say it often. If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. I'm only going to use the term once. Biden. I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time. The damage that he's done to this country is unthinkable.
Dude, this is
it's unthinkable. Together we will restore vision, strength, competence, and we're going to have a thing called common sense making most of our decisions, actually. It's all common sense.
You like to believe it's common sense, but I think it's subjective. A lot of times it's based on people's personal bias. Like, I don't know, because it depends on whether you're a leftist or you're on the right wing, whether your candidate and who you favor. But it comes down to, I don't know, man. Let's be honest, man. Is anybody confident on either side? I guess because Trump does have like super, I'd hate to say it, cult-like fan base following, and it shows with the ignorance, and I think it's ignorance on both sides, because I feel like the Democrats do a lot of pandering, whether it be to the black community or other people of color, but it's just a lot of pandering, and realistically, I think neither party has the people's interests in mind, and these past 4 years haven't showed it. I don't know what to tell you, man, but I'm just praying for better days, man.
Under the current administration, we are indeed a nation in decline. We have an inflation crisis that is making life unaffordable, ravaging the incomes of working and low-income families, and crushing, just simply crushing our people like never before. They've never seen anything like it. We also have an illegal immigration crisis, and it's taking place right now as we sit here in this beautiful arena. It's a massive invasion at our southern border that has spread misery. Vector of conflict hangs over Taiwan, Korea, the Philippines, and all of Asia. And our planet is teetering on the edge of World War III. And this will be a war like no other war because of weaponry. The weapons are no longer army tanks.
That is a huge concern, man. Going into these times, it's like, would things be different, or would we have more attention if he were to be in office for these past 4 terms? But there was a story that was told. He had met with some Taliban leaders, and I guess they were going in. We were gonna remove our soldiers, and I'm drawing a blank. Sorry, I'm over here trying to function. We were going to remove our soldiers, and Trump went in there and said, if you harm a hair on any of our soldiers in here, he sent him, like, he gave him a Google Map picture of his house and said, I'm going to kill you. So I think going in there with that type of force and dominance can kind of help, and it may be in a point where they don't really they don't fear, I guess, us as a country and a society. And we're kind of laughed at now, man. Let's just be real. We getting laughed at. So
it's going back and forth, shooting at each other. These weapons are obliteration. It's time for a change. This administration
war is definitely not in our best
come
interest.
Close to solving the problems. We're dealing with very tough, very fierce people. They're fierce people, and we don't have fierce people. We have people that are a lot less than fierce, except when it comes to cheating on elections and a couple of other things. Then they're fierce.
He's still throwing shots.
So tonight,
for them, petty.
I make this pledge to the great people of America. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
We will drill, baby, drill. Fucking Trump is ridiculous. But you know what? I think it's really important. We need to revitalize the economy. The interest rates are too high, inflation's too high, and I don't think it's going to be sustainable if we keep on this trajectory. So if we can get somebody in here that can do something about it, I'm all for it, man. I'm really not biased at this point. I just want America to be great again, whatever that means. Whatever that means. You tell me. I'm not sure. You tell me.
And next, we will end the ridiculous and actually incredible waste of taxpayer dollars that is fueling the inflation crisis. They've spent trillions of dollars on things having to do with the Green New Scam. It's a scam. And that's caused tremendous inflationary pressures in addition to the cost of energy. And all of the trillions of dollars that are sitting there not yet spent, we will redirect that money for important projects like roads, bridges, dams, and we will not allow it to be spent on meaningless green new scam ideas. And I will end the electric vehicle mandate on day one.
Damn. He going in. He coming in hot. I mean, it's one thing to say it in a speech, but then once you get in office, it's a whole nother story. But, I mean, he's promising a lot on his end, so we're going to have to see how that works. But I definitely think he's in favor to be
the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car. And right now, as we speak,
that is kind of ridiculous, though. You think about it, just kind of, okay, by 2030, we're going to eliminate all gas vehicles. It's like, come on now. That's like, from my understanding, we don't even have enough energy on the power grid if we were to just do a complete conversion. So it should be like a slow transition into that instead of us just trying to enforce it. And then dealing with lithium, we're not even able to dispose lithium properly. So it's just like there's a give and take on both sides. And I don't know. I don't think I'm educated enough to really speak in it in depth. But there's more we should consider when actually talking about eliminating gas vehicles.
Factories just started are being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country. No tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every single auto worker, union and non-union, should be voting for Donald Trump because we're going to bring back car manufacturing and we're going to bring it back fast.
I know car manufacturing was big in Detroit and like the Midwest back then, and that was a way a lot of families were able to get by and actually purchase homes and build wealth in America. And that's something that's been, you know, exported to other countries, obviously because of labor. But, I mean, that was a very interesting take. I didn't, you know, I'll probably make some time to get into the whole entire speech, but just off of the assassination and everything that was going on, it's been a big impact on the market recently. And then I definitely would like to touch on this video that I seen. Give me a second.
Growing talk about a quote-unquote Trump trade. Stocks or sectors.
This is basically talking about how the assassination attempt on Trump had some effects on the market
that would benefit from the election of former President Trump. Following the political violence we saw over the weekend, how do you view that so-called Trump trade and this increasing support and sentiment that Mr. Trump may have an increasing lead in this election?
Well, good morning, Frank. Markets trade on sentiment all the time, of course, but I'd caution people against a Trump trade being real because, you know, the betting and prediction markets are much ballyhooed on Wall Street, but in this case, they bear no resemblance to what's going on actually on the ground. You've had a tight race between Trump and Biden over the last month. Even after all Biden's difficulties over the last month, you've only got a situation where Trump has gone from +1 to +3 in the last month. And, you know, that's a situation that's within the margin of error of most of the polls that are being sampled. So, you know, the political reality here is a lot more circumspect than the betting market's reality. I'd expect that condition to continue for quite some time.
All right, Ben, I'm going to come over to you. You are looking at some of the odds when it comes to this election. You gave us some data. There's a 70% chance now that former President Trump will win the election. When you're talking to your clients or generally looking at the markets right now, do you see a short-term or maybe even a medium, long-term case to shift to this so-called Trump trade?
Good morning, Frank. Yeah, I think it's really a sentiment changes, as Terry says, because really about
I don't think it'll have any long-term impact on the market, but it will short-term, definitely, depending on the outcome. Because for sure, we got to look at it like J.D. Vance, his running mate, is pro-crypto. He's pro-crypto. So that's definitely pro-crypto and pro-markets and tax. So I think it'll be in the favor of the market for sure.
Outcome of this election, and markets just like certainty. And when, as horrific as this event has been, markets take it like it becomes more and more certain that it likely will be President Trump who wins the election. Well, he is up.
I'm not going to go through, so let's skim through this.
Is largely based on the idea. So as you're
more important than the president in setting policy. So all this business about Trump baskets and where unless
Over the last couple of months, we've had a lot of geopolitical issues. Terry, I'm going to come.
All right, and this is just pretty much going. The next video we're going to get into is elaborating a little bit more, and this is kind of going more into the numbers and the increase.
$1 billion has been
net worth
added to former President Donald Trump's net worth on Monday.
Let me start that over so you can.
More than $1 billion has been added to former President
you can hear that.
Donald
More
Trump's
than
net
$1
worth
billion.
on Monday, as shares of Truth Media, the parent of social media platform Truth Social, surged days after an assassination attempt on Trump, who holds a majority stake in the company. Shares of Trump Media and Technology Group increased by 32% to under $41, pacing the company's third largest gain this year.
Damn.
And a 35% jump on March 25th.
32% ain't bad. I should have got some
nearly
Truth Media stock,
company, totaling 114.75 million shares, has increased to $4.6 billion from $3.5 billion since trading closed on Friday. Trump Media shares previously closed at over $40 on June 12th, when Trump's stake was valued at just under $4.7 billion before falling below $28 last week.
I don't think it's worth getting shot at
Trump
in the
has
ear.
a net worth of $6.6 billion, ranking him among the top 500 of the world's wealthiest people, according to our latest estimations. His net worth increased to over $8 billion from about $4.
Damn, so an $8 billion net worth increase. We know that the assassination attempt definitely had an impact on his pockets, but also I think his potential to win the election. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then I'm also hearing there's a potential chance that Biden might actually step out of the race. He posted, I seen it on Twitter, he posted that he was sick. And I think Lil Wayne responded, motherfucker, I'm ill, or something ridiculous. But something I got to see if that was real or not, but let's see.
$1 billion when Trump Media went public on March 26th, when the company's stock peaked at $79.38. We estimate Trump Media to be worth between $40 million and $90 million. Damn. Trump will speak Thursday at the Republican National Convention to accept the party's presidential nomination for a third time. On Monday afternoon,
which already took
Trump
place, so that's what we just were covering in that previous
Trump,
video.
78, was targeted in an assassination attempt during a rally Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. The shooting resulted in the death of one attendee and two others being seriously injured. Trump Media Chief Executive Devin Nunes called for the quote, fast, thorough federal investigation shortly after the incident, condemning the attack as, quote, cowardly. The attack has resulted in several calls for increased security for Trump, including from Nunes at this week's Republican National Convention.
Man, after all that,
Trump's
that's crazy.
Reportedly released a memo saying the convention would continue as planned with new security measures for staff and additional security personnel.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that, man? Going up a few B's for getting popped
JD
at.
Vance has had a meteoric rise.
It definitely makes you look at life a little differently, man. You can die in the spirit of the moment, man. He woke up that morning just thinking it was a regular day, not knowing that was gonna happen. But I mean, in other words, overall, we'll just have to see how things play out with that. So it's just gonna be interesting. I'm not too confident in the future right now, but anyways, we got bigger things to be concerned about. So this is the CEO of CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company, and it was, I think, the biggest IT outage we've had in history recently. And this has impacted the airports, banks, the border patrol, you name it, hospitals, 911 operators, even some of the news channels were impacted, businesses, bank accounts, hedge funds weren't able to trade. So this is a big deal. Like, even just seeing some of the pictures and the videos at the airport, I'm just glad I'm not traveling right now. So I feel bad for anybody that is. So be safe out there on these roads. I know people are hella irritable, but let's see what actually happened. They're saying potentially it might have been a hack, but we don't know. Let's see. In
the Republican Party.
Let's see
From
what
a
he has to
best-selling
say.
author and never Trump.
Oh, let's actually.
We're now joined by the founder and CEO of CrowdStrike, George Kurtz. George, it's good to see a lot of people woke up. They saw that blue screen of death. We've been hearing all about the messes at the airports. A lot of broadcast channels, Australia, even ours here. We had those blue screens everywhere. People are wondering what happened. So what did happen?
Yeah, so first, thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat with you first on air. And I want to start with saying we're deeply sorry for the impact that we've caused to customers, to travelers, to anyone affected.
Hold on, man. Let's be real, dude. To have to wake up and know you got to give this speech, bro, you got some balls, man. I don't care what nobody says. Like, that's some heavy stuff to deal with.
So we know what the issue is. We're resolving and have resolved the issue now. It's recovering systems that are out there. And essentially, as you've talked about in the statement I put out, is the system was sent an update, and that update had a software bug in it and caused an issue with the Microsoft operating system. And we identified this very quickly and remediated the issue. And as systems come back online, as they're rebooted, they're coming up and they're working. And now we are working with each and every customer to make sure that we can bring them back online. But that was the extent of the issue in terms of a bug that was related to our update.
Mr. Kurtz, it's Savannah here in Milwaukee. I mean, you're in the cyber.
So he's saying it was a bug issue that was related to the update. They're saying it's not a hack. But I mean, it's too early to see. Let's see what he says.
Security business, and I certainly don't even pretend to understand this, but according to your statement, it was a single content update that has managed to shut down air travel, credit card payment systems, banks, broadcasts, street lights, 911, emergency around the globe. Why is there not some kind of redundancy or some sort of backup? How is it that one single software bug can have such a profound and immediate impact?
Well, when you look at the complexity of cybersecurity, you're always trying to stay one step ahead of the adversaries.
What I tell you, what I tell you, he choked up, bro. Having to wake up and get that speech, bro, is crazy, dude. I know he ain't gonna be sleeping for the next couple of weeks. You like impacted the entire globe, dude.
Excuse me, man. Just 1 second, please.
Oh yeah, take a drink of water.
Go ahead and drink that water, player.
Sure,
drink that water.
It's been a long night. We're always trying to stay one step ahead of the adversaries. And in this particular case, our systems are always looking for the latest attacks from these adversaries that are out there. So this content update went out, and as it does, and it's been doing for many, many years. Obviously, we've got a robust team that's looking at the safety and security and the quality of these updates, and we have to go back and see what happened here. But if there's a negative interaction with the way some of these operating systems work, and in this particular case, it was only the Microsoft operating system that was impacted. You'll see a reaction like this, and
everybody else that uses Microsoft, happens to be one of the largest out there.
If something nefarious was afoot, if this was some kind of a cyber attack, but you're saying that it was just something within your own system. So now, as we sit here, I was watching the news out of Australia. They were trying to get their television stations back on the air, their hospital software back up and running, the banks going. How long does it take to get everything back up and running?
Well, yeah, first and foremost, again, just to reinforce what you said, it wasn't a cyber attack. It was related to this content update.
He's making sure he emphasizes
as you might
that.
imagine, we've been on, with our customers all night and working with them. Many of the customers are rebooting the system, and it's coming up, and it'll be operational because of.
From what I heard, you have to reboot every computer individually. So it's not like a thing that can just roll out all at once. You have to go by every computer individually and get rid of the bug or get rid of the issue. And they're saying it could be a few weeks. So it's like, damn, man.
We fixed it on our end. And some of the systems that aren't recovering, we're working with them. So it could be some time for some systems that just automatically won't recover. But it is our mission, is why we're here, to make sure that every customer is fully recovered, and we're not going to relent until we get every customer back to where they were, and we continue to protect them and keep the bad guys out of their systems.
Did you ever think, Mr. Kurtz, that you could experience something like this? I mean, does the breadth of this surprise you?
Well, when you look at software, it is a very complex world, and there's a lot of interactions, and always staying ahead of the adversary is certainly a tall task. So these sort of things, obviously, you try to understand and mitigate them, and in some cases you have a weird interaction, and it didn't seem like it happened on every Windows system. There's different versions and flavors and patch levels, if you will.
I wonder how many
we're just
people
trying to sort out where that negative interaction was.
Personal computers. I don't think like none of my personal computers were impacted. So.
CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz, we appreciate you coming on the air so quickly after this happened. And
I did have an issue logging into one of my bank accounts, though.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Correlated.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show.
All right, man, that was interesting. So he's really emphasizing that it wasn't a hack. So we're gonna have to take his words on it. But I don't know. I think I mean, it wouldn't be in his best interest to say it was if it was. So I think he won't be able to keep that hidden for long if that's the case. So let's go into this next video. It elaborates a little bit more. It's talking about Microsoft, how we're gonna move forward with it. Because Microsoft was both.
The cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike says a flawed software update was responsible for a massive outage felt around the world. Airports, banks, stock exchanges, hospitals, and countless other businesses were affected. The company stressed this was not the result of a cyber attack. I want to bring in Dan Ives to give us his analysis. He's a managing director and senior equity analyst for the firm.
They're going to let you know it's not a cyber
where he
attack.
Focuses on technology and software. Dan, always good to see you. Unfortunately, not in these circumstances, but can you help explain how a single update can seemingly shut everything down?
Yeah, I mean, this all is related to Microsoft because this CrowdStrike update, when it went to Microsoft systems around the world, whether it's airports, transportation, businesses, it basically was code that was, essentially flawed. And that shut down the Microsoft operating system. And this is, look, it was a code red situation for CrowdStrike. It's the biggest global IT outage that we've ever seen in the world, and definitely a black eye moment for CrowdStrike.
Biggest global IT outage. I mean, when we talk about the array of services impacted, the list goes on and on and on. Is it about things being interconnected, or in your opinion, is it like what our guest at the top of the hour said, in that there may be a monopoly here?
Look, I think they've been a gold standard for cybersecurity when it comes to CrowdStrike. Unfortunately, they become.
I don't know about being a gold standard anymore after that. She's right. It kind of seems like a monopoly because it's is a global impact from just that one company. And I think a lot of people are probably going to rethink that now. It just kind of brings me into question of thinking about like decentralized like tools and crypto, like DPIN and other things that we could utilize to kind of eliminate these issues with security.
A household name around the world, not in a good way like NVIDIA, but in a bad way. So from a brand perspective, that's something they're going to have to spend weeks and months ahead trying to contain that. But it does speak to just a broader, the strong get stronger in tech.
Damn,
we're not talking
so it said
about
months
30,
possibly.
40 companies. There's really a core 10 to 20 that run the global IT infrastructure.
Damn, let's pause that. Hold on, let's see that. Wow. So these are all airports, London Stock Exchange. Let's see. Yes, airports, exchanges, emergency systems. Damn.
So that said,
worldwide outage.
What do we need to learn in terms of backup plans when something like this happens?
Well, I think that's really in Redmond. I mean, from Microsoft. Microsoft's going to be looking at this closely to see how this never happens again. From an update perspective, to cause really a historical IT outage. That's something that we're going to, see over the coming weeks, months. I'm sure lawmakers are going to be focused on this as well. But this, look, it is a black eye moment, not just for CrowdStrike, but for the cybersecurity industry.
For sure.
And I think this even comes in the heel last week, right? The AT&T cyber hack. So unfortunately, this is not the news you want to see.
Man, all these companies be getting hacked. At this point, I don't know if they're just getting hacked or selling our data, man. You can't trust anybody anymore. So it's getting scary out here. It's like all your information is probably on the black web anyways. That's why I use a VPN, man. Get a VPN.
That said, are nefarious people watching? People who think, man, I could just, I could do one thing to this one company and have this devastating impact.
The bad actors are always watching. So when something like this happens, it's no different than, a house with the door open and robbers, look by in the street. I mean, it's not a good situation because it shows the vulnerability. And the bad actors, like they always do around the world, will look at this, analyze it, and look at ways that they could ultimately benefit financially.
It might be too dystopian to mention this, but my immediate thought was the Netflix movie Leave the World Behind with Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts. And it's just like, you zap it and we literally can do nothing. But Dan, that said, people who had a surgery rescheduled, couldn't reach a 911 dispatcher, couldn't access money in their bank, couldn't get to wherever they needed to go to on their flight. Now, we haven't heard specific stories of this happening.
I'm just saying now, this is a glimpse of what can go wrong. I just seen the other day that they said our power grid is susceptible to like a hack from outside sources or enemies. So at any moment they could just take out our power grid. So that's pretty much gonna put us in the same situation. So it's just like, be prepared, man. Get you some emergency supplies, man, because it's getting tricky. Whether it was a hack or they had an issue with an update, I mean, this is definitely a telltale sign to keep your eyes open, dude.
But we know these services have been impacted. What recourse, if any, do they have?
Well, if you're a lawyer for CrowdStrike right now, I don't think you're going to be seeing the beach too much this summer. I mean, there's going to be
That's what I was saying. There's going to be a ton of litigation.
5 years of litigation, legal issues that they're going to have to deal with. This is not going to go smoothly in terms of, as this all plays out. It's the biggest global IT outage, and there's not 100 companies involved. It's one. It's CrowdStrike. But I think their CEO, George Kurtz, one of the best out there.
Damn. Yeah, see, that's the weird thing about it. It's just like kind of scary. You're relying on one company for like globally for so much IT support. But yeah, I think that's definitely getting into a monopoly. It's kind of scary, man. It's like your security or your information is not safe. You got Facebook and all these other entities selling your information. And I mean, I guess so. It's understandable because data's currency, man. You got to look at it like that. It's data's currency. So it's the reason why, these companies make money selling our information. But let's get into the next topic. We're going to switch it up a little bit. That was interesting just to keep us up to date what was going on in this crazy week economically. But next we got coming up, I want to get into Big Sean recently was working on an album and his album was leaked, man. So there was some tweets that I think it was a tweet that came back, or actually he screenshotted the text message between him and I guess it's a Kanye fan that supposedly leaked the album. But I guess the catalyst of him leaking the album was this freestyle that Big Sean put out. So I guess supposedly he's dissing.
One time for baby girl to live, real Detroit legend.
He's supposed to be dissing Kanye in this one.
Hey, look. I had to switch the home team cause they committed treason. Eliante had a piece hit, I'm feeling seasick. Niggas looking for engagement like they got their knee bent. I got better things to do than find someone to beef with, or else I'm off the deep end. This game will take you either way, it's offense, defense. They say it's lonely at the top, well come and talk to me then. From where they quick to draw your watch like they trying to freehand. If your girl only knew I fly out this weekend. But you lucky cause I'd rather spend some time with Lil Man. I see myself in my son, it's like I'm tucking me in. Bitches in trouble, he already starting to break hearts and bursting bubbles. It's shooters that'll shoot you regardless of Metro trust you. Paid in full, nigga like me, love to hustle. They wanna disrupt you up to try to one up you. Luckily me I'm up to. God's time, ain't no rush, fool. World in my hands, I'ma treat it like a Rubik's Cube. Maneuver through from the ground up, took it through the roof. Best advice I ever gave myself was just be true to you. I always knew that I was the best, I guess I gotta prove it too. Man, this industry is terrible, I can't even vouch. I seen grown men get matching tattoos for the clout. I had train wrecks and kick home records out of my house. I seen 8-figure checks at once hit my account. That showed me enough's a feeling, dog, it's not an amount. Cause I've been up and still hungry like I'm down for the count. Difference is I'm an activist and you drink activist. And I'm back acclimated and I'ma need my cut off toppers decapitated. Nigga, what the fuck you a pro at? Procrastinating? Shine, where the fuck you been at? Recalibrating. Like I'm down for the count. Difference is I'm an activist and you drink activist. And I'm back acclimated and I'ma need my cut off toppers decapitated. Nigga, what the fuck you a pro at? Procrastinating? Shine, where the fuck you been at? Recalibrating. It's mixed in your inner circle. Niggas is half hating. Fucking it up so long, dog, I ain't even light-winded. Niggas back acting up like when that strike ended. New ring flash before your eyes like your life ended. Niggas be complaining too much, quit acting light-skinned. But trust when I see your dark side, I got night vision. Going hard as Dr. Umar on white women. Oh God. Man, that's it, man. Better me than you. Yeah.
Projects, you know, I've been there since graduation, you know, and I got to like study and contribute, you know, give energy to every project. 808s, Beautiful, Twisted, right? So I know he wouldn't do that. Because that's trash. I know he wouldn't do no shit like that. So whoever did do that, just know it did fuck me up. But I know, like, hold on, let me show y'all some shit. I know he ain't do that shit because I know he ain't do that. Niggas talking about, yeah, he did that. I know he ain't do that because look at this shit right here.
He's just being sarcastic. Oh, they didn't even have this. So I think he's just being sarcastic right now. He's saying he didn't do that, but realistically, I think they were saying that. Well, the Kanye fan was saying that Kanye told him to leak Big Sean's album. So let me see if I can find the actual screenshots. Yeah, because they had screenshots of it, but let's finish playing this and I'll try to
show y'all
see if I can find the screenshots.
You see this plaque right here? It's 185 million records sold under good music. I love good music. Nigga they made more money off my music than I did. And leaking a nigga shit, I had access to a lot of exclusive, not just him, just other people too. Nigga, I would never leak nobody's shit, so I know he ain't do that. I know he ain't do that. So whoever started that rumor, y'all on some bullshit. No matter what's going on.
I honestly don't know if he's being sarcastic or he really doesn't believe that Kanye leaked his album. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I don't know. Kanye is a little sporadic, but leaking the homie album is a little crazy. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, man. It don't look like he leaked his album. So there's really no proof of showing that he leaked the album. Yeah, but I don't know. I just think it's interesting. So we don't got proof that he leaked the album, but what I could say, it's kind of heartbreaking as an artist. You put all that time and energy into putting together a project, and then for somebody to just go out of their way to just drop your shit and not have no kind of compassion for all the work and time and effort and energy you put into it. I think, man, it's kind of foul, but I think ultimately it's been an interesting week. We made it to Friday. I just kind of wanted to go over a few topics to see how things is going coming in this lovely day. Thank you for tuning in on the Night Ultra Talks. So we'll be trying to do a stream, I think weekly streams and videos dropping weekly as well. So go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, turn on your post notifications. And we out this